Start with breaking news here today. In President-elect Donald Trump's nomination of Matt Gaetz for Attorney General, ABC News is now learning exclusively that the woman who accused Gaetz of having sex with her when she was just 17 years old shared her claims in closed-door testimony before the House Ethics Committee. That is according to sources that are familiar with this investigation. Now, Gaetz has long denied these accusations. Yesterday, he stepped down from Congress following his nomination for Attorney General. Let's get now to ABC News' Jay O'Brien, who's live for us on Capitol Hill. So, Jay, this is quite stunning news here. What more are we learning here about what she potentially said in front of the House Ethics Committee?
Yeah, Kana, ABC News has learned, according to multiple sources, that the woman at the center of this investigation into Matt Gaetz for allegations of sex trafficking told the House Ethics Committee when she was interviewed by that committee that she had sex with Matt Gaetz when she was 17 years old and in high school, and Matt Gaetz was a member of the United States Congress. That, again, according to multiple sources who spoke with our Will Staken and our investigative team here at ABC News. Previously, the Department of Justice investigated these allegations of sex trafficking into Matt Gaetz. They did not bring criminal charges. Matt Gaetz has denied any wrongdoing. And then there became this House Ethics Committee investigation into Gaetz, which looked into similar allegations. And it's over the course of that investigation that ABC News has now learned that this woman in question said that Matt Gaetz had sex with her when she was 17 years old, and he was a member of Congress, and she was, of course, a minor. Matt Gaetz has said on Twitter and in other posts that he never had sex with anyone under the age of 18, and again, he has denied any wrongdoing. That ongoing House Ethics Committee investigation into him ended when he resigned from Congress because he was nominated, as you said, by Donald Trump to be his nominee for Attorney General. Because when you are no longer a member of Congress, ethics investigations conducted within the Congress into you end. We now know the committee, according to sources, was wrapping up its investigation as Gaetz resigned, and they were preparing to potentially release a final report with their findings, which presumably would have included this key detail, which again is that the 17-year-old at the center of this investigation says that when she was 17, she and Matt Gaetz, as a member of Congress, had sex with her when she was in high school. This detail was not previously known. We knew those details about allegations of sex trafficking, etc., but not this before, Kana.
And we have known that in the past investigation here, perhaps there were some questions about the witnesses. We know that back in 2022, prosecutors declined to actually bring charges against him. As you point out, he has denied this over and over again. But this has been an ongoing investigation. And if this were to be released, there would be a lot of information. And it sounds, Jay, like there's growing calls here for this report to be released, and also some concern that if it's not released, it just might be leaked.
Right. That report is held in the hands of the House Ethics Committee, which has said that it won't release the report because that investigation is over and Matt Gaetz is no longer a member of Congress. So this investigation doesn't have jurisdiction, is what one Republican on Capitol Hill told me. Nonetheless, there are calls for that report to be preserved and released. There are Senate Republicans and Democrats at this hour who say they want a copy of that report if Matt Gaetz is ultimately brought in front of the Senate, testifies in front of the Senate as nominees for cabinet-level positions do, and is voted on by the Senate on the Senate floor, as again is the process for cabinet-level nominees. We've heard from Democrats who have demanded that the House Ethics Committee hold on to a copy of this report. We've even heard from some top Republicans who say they would like to see this report as well. Again, we do not know what's in the report. We don't know if it would be released, but there are demands at this hour in the Senate that if they're going to consider Matt Gaetz as a nominee, there are senators on both sides of the aisle who want to read this report, Kana. They want to read what the House Ethics Committee has uncovered.
They certainly do want to read it, and if they could, Jay, any idea how that might impact, say, specifically growing GOP concern about this nomination and the opposition to it? Because we know there seems to be a growing chorus here of not just Democrats, of Republicans who are concerned about this nomination.
Well, the reality here is, Kana, there were already moderate Republicans in the Senate who expressed concerns about Matt Gaetz as a nominee for Attorney General. They came out yesterday and were clear with their concerns. There are other Republicans at this hour who haven't necessarily expressed support for Matt Gaetz. All they have said is that they want him to go to the Senate and essentially plead his case. And so if senators get their hands on this report, it's unclear how it's going to impact them. It really depends on what is in the report. But we do now know that in the process of compiling that report, again, in the process of conducting that investigation, we have just learned this breaking news that the woman, no longer 17, but says when she was 17, Matt Gaetz had sex with her when she was a minor and in high school, and he was a sitting member of Congress.
Right, and the news here is that it sounds like she testified behind closed doors in front of this House Ethics Committee. And now people certainly want to read this report. Jay O'Brien, thank you so much for being here with us.